Morning, Wanda. Today we are going to discuss about the classification of cables and also insulating materials for the cables. Okay, first of all, in the previous class, we already discussed about the various parts in the cables. Okay, how many layers are there for giving the insulation for that cables? Okay, that all will be discussed in the previous class. Now, in the present class, we are discussing about the which type of insulating materials are used for the different layers. Okay, we are having the so many layers for the insulation of cables. Okay, which type of materials are used for that insulation? Okay, that all will be discussed in the present class. First of all, what are the insulating materials for the cables are there? Means first one is the rubber, next one is the vulcanized Indian rubber, next one is impregnated paper, next varnished cambric, next polyvinyl chloride, and cross-linked polyethanol. Okay, these are the various materials for the insulating for giving the insulation of a cables. Okay, each and every insulating material having the different properties. Okay, each and every insulating materials having the insulating properties. Okay, first coming to the rubber. Okay, what is the main insulating properties are there in the rubber? Okay, it can be obtained from milky shape of tropical trees or from oil products. Okay, this type of insulation, okay, that is the rubber is made by using the tropical trees or from oil products. Okay, from the oil products or the tropical trees. Okay, we will form the rubber as the insulating material. Okay, and it has a dielectric strength of 30 kilovolts per mm. Okay, the rubber has the dielectric strength of 30 kilovolts per mm. Okay, the insulation resistivity, is 10 power 17 ohm per centimeter. Okay, that is specific resistance for that rubber. Next, the relative permittivity varying between 2 to 3. Okay, the relating permittivity for the rubber is varying in between 2 to 3. Okay, there are radially absorbs the moisture. Okay, this type of rubber is absorbs the moisture and soft and liable to damage, okay, due to the rough handling and the edges when exposed to the light. Okay, there are readily absorbs the moisture, soft and liable to damage, okay, due to the rough handling and the edges when exposed to the light. Okay, and maximum safe temperature is very low, about 38 degrees centigrade only. If the temperature is increases, then this type of insulation not give the perfect insulation for the cables. Okay, first of all, the rubber is made by using the some kinds of oil products or the some tropical trees. Okay, this is the material, okay, that will be used for forming this rubber, and the dielectric strength for that rubber is the 30 kilovolts per mm. Okay, the dielectric strength of that rubber is 30 kilovolts per mm. Okay, therefore the insulation resistivity is 10 into 10 power 17 is ohm per centimeters, and the relative permittivity of that rubber is 2 to 3. Okay, next, it absorbs the moisture. Okay, it readily absorbs the moisture, safe and liable to damage due to the rough handlings. Okay, if any rough handlings are obtained in this case, okay, it can somewhat withstand that material has the insulation. Okay, therefore the maximum safe temperature is very less, that is 38 degrees centigrade only. Okay, if the temperature is increases, okay, beyond that value, then this rubber is not give for perfect insulation for the cables. Okay, that's why we are using the another insulating material. Okay, that is the vulcanized Indian rubber. Okay, that is the vulcanized Indian rubber. Okay, first of all, what is the difference between the vulcanized Indian rubber and the Indian rubber? Okay, this is the direct product, okay, that will be obtained from the tropical trees and some oil products. But that vulcanized Indian rubber, okay, it can be obtained from the mixing rubber, pure rubber with a mineral components. Okay, this is the pure rubber and this is not pure rubber. Okay, this will be mixed with the some mineral components. Okay, this vulcanized Indian rubber is mixing for the pure rubber with some mineral components. Okay, that is zinc oxide, red lead, sulfur, and heat up to 150 degrees centigrade. Okay, this vulcanized, this rubber, that pure rubber and combination of that some minerals. Okay, and we are combining the minerals, okay, by using zinc oxide, red lead and sulfur, and by combination of this all the minerals and the pure rubber, okay, then we form the pure rubber and we will heat that all the products and then we form the vulcanized Indian rubber. Okay, that heating temperature is about 150 degrees centigrade. Okay, by mixing the pure rubber and zinc oxide, red lead and sulfur, okay, but all the minerals and the pure rubber is heated up to 150 degrees centigrade, and then we form this type of rubber for the insulation purpose. Okay, why? Because we are mixing the all the minerals with the pure rubber and then heating them. And why? Because we are forming this type of rubber means, okay, pure rubber does not withstand the high temperatures, and also it does not use the high mechanical strength, and it absorbs some moistures also. Okay, that's why that pure rubber is converted into the combination of the various minerals and them and heat together at 150 degrees, and then we form the vulcanized Indian rubber. Okay, understand ma? Okay, these vulcanized Indian rubbers are obtained by heating the rubber for combination of the minerals. Okay, at 150 degrees we are heating that minerals and the pure rubber, then we form the vulcanized Indian rubber. Okay, it has great mechanical strength. For the formation of this vulcanized Indian rubber, okay, we are increasing the temperature withstand capacity and also improving the high mechanical strength. Okay, it has greater mechanical strength, durability, and wear resistant property. Okay, the sulfur reacts quickly with the copper. Okay, this sulfur reacts quickly with the copper. So tinned copper conductors are used. Okay, in this case minerals we are using as the sulfur. Okay, that sulfur is reacted with the copper material. Okay, the copper is made, the conductor is made by using this copper material. Okay, therefore the sulfur is reacted with that copper, then the therefore the tinned copper conductors are used in the case of a cables. Okay, it is suitable for low and moderator cables. Okay, this type of vulcanized rubber is used as the insulation for the moderate voltages and the low voltages only. Okay, for the high voltages we are using the another materials. Next type of insulating material is the impregnated paper. Okay, next type of material is the impregnated paper. Okay, this material has the suppressed the rubber. Okay, this material is suppressed the rubber, consists of chemically pulped paper impregnated, okay, with naphthenic and paraffinic materials. Okay, this impregnated paper has suppressed with the rubber, and it consists of a and it will be obtained by some chemical reactions are done. Okay, this chemically pulped paper impregnated with, okay, this chemically pulped paper is impregnated with the naphthenic and paraffinic materials. Okay, it has the low cost and low capacity and high dielectric strength and high insulation resistance. Okay, for the formation of that impregnator paper, okay, it gives the good insulation resistance and it having the high dielectric strength and low capacity and also the low cost. Okay, the main disadvantage by using this impregnated paper is that it is a hygroscopic. Okay, for this reason, the paper insulation is always provided protective coverings. Okay, this is used only for the protective covering of that insulation or the insulating materials or the cables. Okay, this type of impregnated paper, okay, is prepared by the after doing the chemical pulped paper impregnated with the naphthalene and paraffinic materials. Okay, but it gives the high dielectric strength and also it gives the high insulation resistance. Okay, but only that main disadvantage is the hygroscopics. Okay, that's why we are using the another insulating material, that is the varnish cambric. Okay, it is the simple the cotton cloth impregnated and coated with the varnish. Okay, this is the very simple formation of that material and it is coated with the varnish and it is coated with the varnish. Okay, it is the one cotton cloth, simple cotton cloth and impregnated and coated with the varnish. Okay, as the varnish cambric is also hygroscopic, no need some protection. Okay, there is no requirement of the another protection. Okay, its dielectric strength is about dielectric strength is about 4 kilovolts per mm. Okay, the dielectric strength is about 4 kilovolts per mm and permittivity is 2.5 to 3.8 and permittivity is up to 2.5 to 3.8. Okay, therefore the dielectric strength is about 4 kilovolts per mm and the relative permittivity for that varnish cambric is 2.5 to 3.8. Okay, it is a simple type of cotton and it is varnished with the and it is coated with the varnish and it is coated with the varnish. As the varnish cambric is also the hygroscopic. Okay, it is also hygroscopic. Okay, next type of insulating material is the polyvinyl chloride. Okay, this will be commonly used insulating materials for that cables. Okay, that is the PVC. Okay, this is the PVC, that means polyvinyl chloride. Okay, this material has the good dielectric strength and high insulation resistance and high melting temperature. Okay, it having the good insulation resistance and high melting temperature and good dielectric strength. Okay, these have so good mechanical properties when compared to the rubber and it gives the good mechanical properties. Okay, in the household purpose also we are using as the PVC as the insulating for that wires or the cables. Okay, it is interact with the oxygen and almost interact to many alkyls and the acids. Okay, it does not do any chemical reactions for all other oxides and all other acids and the oxygen and minerals. Okay, therefore by using this polyvinyl chloride, okay, we increase the dielectric strength and also the it having the high insulation resistance and also it gives more mechanical strength and also good melting temperatures. Okay, these are the various insulating materials, okay, that will be used in the case of a cables. Okay, next one is the cross-linked polyethylene. Okay, this material has temperature ranges beyond 250 to 300 degrees centigrade. Okay, when we are distributing or transmitting very high level of voltages, okay, in this case, in that case, we are using the cross-linked polyethylene. Okay, that is the materials. Okay, where having the high temperature resistance, and when we are using the high temperature, high voltages, okay, that will be distributed in the underground cables. Okay, in that case, we are using the cross-linked polyethylene as the insulating materials. Okay, it gives the good insulation property, and also it having the high mechanically stable. Okay, it is light in weight and small overall dimension, and low dielectric constraints and high mechanical strength, and also a low water absorption property, and it having the low water absorption property. And these cables permit conductor temperature of 90 degrees centigrade to 250 degree centigrade under normal and short circuit conditions. Okay, understand ma? Under normal and short circuit conditions also it's withstand the high dielectric strength, and it gives the high mechanically stable, and there is no chemical reactions are obtained by using this type of insulating materials. And also this type of cables is used for the suitable for up to 33 kilovolts. Okay, this type of insulating materials are used up to 33 kilovolts. Okay, understand ma? These are the various types of insulating materials, okay, that will be used for the underground cables. Okay, first one is the rubber, next one is the varnish cambric. Okay, it is the improvement of for that rubber. Okay, the rubber does not give high mechanical strength, and it absorbs the some moisture also. Okay, therefore we are using that rubber is mixed with the some mineral components, and then heat at 150 degrees, and then we form the varnish vulcanized Indian rubbers. Okay, and then it gives the mechanical strength and high reliability. Okay, therefore it can be used for the low and moderate voltages. Next one is the impregnated paper and varnish cambric and polyvinyl chloride and cross-linked polythanes. Okay, polyethanes are the various insulating materials for giving the insulation for that underground cables. Okay, these are the practical view of that XLPE. XLPE means the cross-linked polyethylene as the insulating materials. Okay, this type of cables will be used for high voltage ranges, that is above 33 kilovolts ranges. Okay, therefore by using this type of insulating materials for that underground cables, okay, we are increasing the high dielectrics, we are increasing the safety. Okay, that's why we are using the XLP as the cables for the above voltage ranges. Okay, these are the various types of insulating materials are used in the case of a cables. Okay, next coming to the what are the classifications are there in the case of a cables. Okay, how many types of classifications are there? Okay, how many types of cables are there in the case of underground cables? Okay, first one is the LT. LT means the low tension cable. Okay, this type of cable, LT cable, is used up to 1000 volts. Okay, this type of low tension cable is used up to 1000 volts. Next one is the HT. HT means the high tension cable. Okay, this high tension cable is used up to, okay, this high tension cable is used up to 11,000 volts. Okay, high tension cable is used for about up to 11,000 volts. Next one is the ST type of cable, that is the super tension cable. Okay, this super tension cable is used up to from 22 kilovolts to 33 kilovolts. Okay, this type of cable is used for up to 22 kilovolts to 33 kilovolts. Okay, this is the S3 cable, that is from 22 to 33 kilovolts. Super tension cable is used up to 22 kilovolts to 33 kilovolts. Okay, next type of cable is the extra high tension cable. Okay, next type of cable is the extra high tension cable. Okay, the EHT cable. Okay, it is used for from 33 kilovolts to 66 kilovolts. Okay, up to 66 kilovolts, this HT type of cables are used. Okay, that is high tension cables. Okay, beyond 132 kilovolts, we are using the extra super voltage cables. Okay, beyond 132 kilovolts, okay, we are using the extra super tension cables. Okay, these are the various types of cables. Okay, depending upon the voltage levels, okay, the cables are classified like this. Okay, depending upon the voltage levels, okay, the cables are classified like this. Okay, that is low tension cables, high tension cables, super tension cables, extra high tension cables, and extra super voltage cables. Okay, first the low tension cables are used up to 1000 volts, and high tension cables are used up to 11,000 volts, and super tension cables are used up to 22 to 33 kilovolts, and extra high tension cables are used up to 33 to 66 kilovolts, and extra super voltage cables are used up to 132 kilovolts. Up to 132 kilovolts, we are using the extra super voltage cables. Okay, these are the various types of cables, okay, that will be classified depending upon the voltage levels. Okay, this is the practical view. This is the practical view for that extra high tension cables, and this is the cross sectional view for the extra high tension cables. Okay, this is the cross-sectional view for that extra high tension voltage cables. Okay, this is the PVC jacket and H-core binder tape, and this is the 5 ml copper tape shield, and this is the A class and B compressed copper conductor. Okay, this is the copper conductor, and this is the extracted conductor sheet, and this is the insulation, and this is the ground conductor. Okay, G is the ground conductor, and D is the extracted semi-conducting insulating shieldings, and this is the filter and continuous aluminum armory. Continuous aluminum armory. These are the various parts in the case of a high tension cable. High tension means extra high tension cable. Okay, this type of cables will be used up to 33 kilovolts to 66 kilovolts. Okay, EHT cables are used up to 66 kilovolts. Okay, that will be used for about 33 kilovolts to 66 kilovolts, and this is the practical view, and this is the cross sectional view for this diagram. Okay, in this case we are using the 3 cores. Okay, these are the various parts for that high tension cables. This is the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, G. Okay, and the A means the class B compressed copper conductor. B is the extracted conductor shielding. Okay, this is the A conductor, and this is the shielding, and this is the C part is the insulation, and this is the thermostatic insulation steel, and this is the copper tape shield, and this is the filter, and this is the core binder tape, and this is the aluminum harmony. This is the jacket. Okay, this is the jacket, and these are the various constructional parts for the high tension cables, and this is the cross sectional view for the 3-core high tension cables. Okay, this type of cables is used for up to 33 kilovolts to 66 kilovolts, up to 33 kilovolts to 66 kilovolts. Okay, we are using the extra high tension cables. Okay, next one is the low tension cable. Okay, next one is the low tension cable. Okay, this is the practical view for that low tension cable. Okay, the low tension cable is used up to 1000 volts. Okay, the low tension cable is used up to 1000 volts. And these are the various parts for that low tension cables. That is this is the conductor, single core conductor. At the top of this conductor, we are using the tape. And this is the insulation. And this is also the tape for that insulation. In this case, we are using the varnish cambric or the any impregnated paper for giving the insulation. And this is the metallic shielding, and this is the plastic sheath. Okay, this is the plastic sheath. Last cover is the plastic sheath. Okay, this is the practical view for that low tension cables. Okay, this type of low tension cables is used for the up to 1000 volts. Okay, up to 1000 volts we are using the up to 1000 volts we are using the low tension cables. Okay, these are the various parts for that low tension cable. This is the single core conductor, and this is the tape, and this is the insulation and metallic sheathing and plastic sheath. Okay, next one is the 3-core cable. Okay, this is the practical view, practical diagram for that 3-core belted cable. Okay, in this cable, the conductors are wrapped with the oil impregnated papers. Okay, in this type of cable, the conductors are wrapped with the oil impregnated papers. Okay, the cross are the assembles with the filter materials. Okay, this type of cables are used up to 11 kilovolts to 22 kilovolts. For high voltages, we are using beyond 22 kilovolts. Okay, we are using the as a high insulation resistance for paper is quite small, long layers. Okay, therefore that transient stresses are set up, and therefore the leakage currents across that belted core cables are increases. Okay, this is the cross sectional view for that, cross sectional view for the 3-core belted cables. Okay, and all the inner parts and the overall constructions for the cables, okay, that all will be discussed in the next class. Okay, these are the 3-core belted cable cross section. 3-core belted cable cross section. Okay, it consisting of a lead sheath. Okay, this is the lead sheath, and this is the thickness of insulation between the conductor and the sheath. Okay, there is a gap. Okay, this is the gap. Okay, this gap indicates the thickness of insulation between the conductor and the sheath. And this is the paper belt. Okay, this is the paper belt, and this is the 3-core cable. This is the core 1, core 2, and this is the core 3. Okay, these 3 cores are insulated from each other. Okay, this is the insulation for that between this core to this core, and between this core to this core we are having the insulation, and this core to this core we are having the another insulation. Okay, this gap is called as the thickness of insulation. Okay, the layer is covered with the lead sheath. Okay, this is the overall cross section for that 3-core belted cable. Okay, in this case the belt is the paper. Okay, the 3 cores are formed by the are combined with the belt. Okay, therefore then it is called as the 3-core belted cable. Okay, that belt is formed with the paper, impregnated paper. Okay, in between this conductor to this conductor we are having the gap. Okay, that gap is called as the thickness of insulation between the conductor. Okay, this gap is called as the thickness of insulation between the conductor. Okay, this is the thickness of insulation between the conductor, and this is the thickness of insulation between the conductor to sheath. Okay, sheath means the lead sheath. Okay, this is the gap between the thickness of insulation between the conductor to the lead sheath. Okay, this is the lead sheath. And this is the gap between these two conductors or the two cores is the thickness of insulation between the conductors. Okay, these are the thickness of insulation between the conductors. Okay, this is the cross-sectional view for the three-core belted cables. Okay, these three-core belted cables are again classified into H-type cables and SL type of cables. Okay, this can be used up to 33 kilovolts. Okay, these are mainly two types, that is the H-type cables and the S-type of cables. Okay, these are the H-type of cables. Okay, these three-core cables are again classified into two types, that is the H-type and the L-type of cables. Okay, these are the various classifications for that cable depending upon the voltage levels. Okay, these cables are classified into like this. And these are the various types of insulating materials. Okay, these are the various types of insulating materials. Okay, that will be used for the insulation for the underground cables. Okay, we are having the different types of insulating materials, and each and every material having the different properties. Okay, for giving the protection for the cables. Okay, which type of materials are suitable? Okay, that all will be decided for their properties only. And this is the practical view for that polyethylene insulation. Okay, this is the polyethylene insulations. Okay, this will be used for above high voltage ranges. High voltage ranges up to above 33 kilovolts. We are using this type of insulations. And these are the various practical views for the low tension cables, and these are the high tension cables, extra high tension cables, and this is the cross sectional view for that low tension and the extra high tension cables, and these are the three core cables. Okay, we are using the three cores. Okay, the three cores are insulated from the paper belt, and we are having the insulation between the core to core and also the in between core to the sheath, conductor to the lead sheath. Okay, we are having the another insulation is there. Okay, this is the three core belted cable constructional and the cross sectional view diagram. Okay, these three core belted cables are again classified into two types, that is the H type cable and the SL type of cables. Okay, this is the H type of cable cross sectional view. Okay, it consisting of a three cores. Okay, this is the core 1, this is the core 2, and this is the core 3. They are having the different cores are there. Three cores are there. And this is the belted, okay, metallic shield and belted conducting belt, and this is the lead sheath and bedding, armouring and surveying are the different layers for giving the protection for the cables. Okay, depending upon the voltage levels, the cables are classified like this. Okay, depending upon the voltage levels, okay, the cables are classified like this. Okay, understand me? In the next class, we will give the complete cross-section, complete explanation about the classifications of that cables. Okay, depending upon the voltage levels and their diagrams. Okay, and each and every parts and each and every insulating parts for that cables. Okay, that all will be discussed in the next class. Okay, these are the various types of cables. Okay, thank you. We will continue in the next class.